In this video tutorial, I'm going to cover the sub-assembly drawing area, but what I'm going to do, as I did before, you can go directly into it and show the last visited screen, or you can go into the production or the list view and find the actual drawing that you want to work with. In this case, I'm going to use the list view. I'm going to go in for our cabin cruiser, and what I'm going to point out is that in this area, we added the next lower assembly, which is actually the sub-assemblies within the main assembly within the top level drawing, and we copied them down to this area and we added them. We added the description and then we added information. You'll note that there is a value that is in there for the sell price and the sale price. Now these are the each price. This would be the extended price on the device or whatever you're designing or putting into the system at the time. Now, the reason I came down here is I wanted to access through the portal so I can show the actual record that I want to view. I might want to go in and look at the engine frame, and I could take that, or I might want to go in and look at the fuel tank assembly install, or maybe the water tank install that we're going to be mounting. These are different drawings that state and show the application of the installation so that the person that's using the drawing can understand how to put the item in there. Once again, I don't have the actual drawing, so I'm just using whatever I have available to simulate that. Let's go down and pick the engine mounting frame and the mounting process for the engine bay. And you'll see that when you come to this screen, it shows you the lower level assembly and the engine mounting frame as the title and the type of drawing that it is. Once you get down to this part, it also carries the manufacturer information from that same portal. Now there's some new information that can be added, and this is optional information, and it really depends upon the actual product that you're talking about. If it's space issue or shipping or something that has to do with knowing the weight, the height, length, and width, that gets important if you're shipping an item or bringing it in where you're ordering it. That gives you an idea of what the actual requirements were to pick it up or move it once it's delivered. Weight being something that you would know. It might take a forklift, or you can have it just picked up and laid on a pallet, or if it's brought in by a shipper, that you have to have the ability to lift it from the truck and put it into your facility. So this is information that is very handy to have, and it's filled in as required. The next thing is the per assembly. In this particular case, we're going to do one engine mounting frame, so we have a quantity of one that we're working with. And if you look down here, this is the component parts required for the assembly, and this is a scrolling portal. What this does is it gives you the ability to take the drawing or pictorial of the parts and put them into this screen by adding them here. When you view them in the portal, you're going to get a larger view of this particular information. Now, in the case of this, it could be a drawing number or a part number that refers to an actual item. If it was done in a drawing or as a part number within a drawing, that's what would be put into this area right here. The actual name of the item from the drawing or the part name that the manufacturer uses would be added here. These two fields show you that this is the top level of the item, and then the item as it's shown in here would be different for each one of these that you add. So if I go down here, this is for this particular level, it's going to match or add a different number in here as far as the item is concerned. In this process, what we're doing is we're putting in an engine mount, and we're showing the bolts that it takes to bolt it down. We're showing the quantity of the pads that we need, in this case 8, and the price each, the actual parts sell price that we're going to sell it at is $36, and then it gives the extended cost for the parts total. And what this is going to do, it's going to run a total up here and show you that it's $466 when you take all the parts that were included in this. Here's 8 more bolts at $2.30. We're going to sell them at $488 at the selling cost, and the extended price is $39.04. That information will keep on calculating to the top line until it shows you the assembly price each and then the sale price. Now in this particular case, what we're doing up here is the cost. if you took the cost of the items that is calculated down here at the bottom, you would bring that up to the top and then put in the assembly per each cost as whatever you want to really sell it at, as opposed to the actual cost for the items that you got them from the manufacturer at. So it's very important to understand that this is the cost, this is the price that's going to be sold at, and if you extend this, like for example, if I came in here and said 2 instead of 1, it's going to change the price multiple times, okay? But that would not be correct, since we're only doing one install assembly from the drawing, and we're breaking each of the items out by the cost each for the items that have to be used times the number of items that we're using. Now, I want to be clear what the next thing over here is for. This is where you can take the drawings individually and add them to this portal. Basically, I have a fuel tank, which I just made up and took in here, and you can see that it has the mounting brackets that would be entitled to put the engine in there. In this case, it's a fuel tank. Now, I also have an engine, a fuel tank, a water tank in here. Now, if I had the actual engine drawings, I could put them in here. But what this is this is a, based on this this assembly or sub-assemblies, these are photographs that you're putting in, and you're actually marking them as to what they go to. And this covers multiple things within the top level drawing and assembly area that you may want to add pictures to. And then you access them by scrolling down. So this would have been the fuel tank and how it's mounted. This is the full fuel tank from the standpoint of the actual fuel tank drawing. And then if I continue down, I have a water tank in here. Now, I did not add anything because I did not have the actual drawings and stuff for an engine mount. But if I go over to the portal, it would show this picture in there. And for example, on this, if I had added an actual engine mount drawing and then put in both the subassembly and the part number from that in here and the description, then that would have been easy to recognize as that particular drawing. But what this does is it gives you the access and then a portal access to see the information on those line items. So for example, if I went back up here and clicked on the portal, it would show the sub portal underneath of this with the individual record picture and then the narrative that I could put in that would be added in the notes down here below. This would be a part of that particular portal record. Now I could go below that and show the component part list, which we'll be covering later, which shows each individual line item as to how it breaks out in the information here, plus the pricing and stuff like that. We'll cover that separately. This particular video watching right now was clicked on this screen to see this information that I'm presenting to you right now. You can do next and previous records that will change the top level information as far as the subassembly is concerned. If you do a parts report, now it's going to look at this portal and the portal information in a parts report rather than the component lists. You also have the ability to go back to the catalog or to the package portal by jumping with one click to get back there. And as before, this particular icon will hide or show the menu options on the screen depending on what kind of device you're seeing it on. Okay, that should pretty well cover everything on this screen. You want to take the next videos to go ahead and look at the individual portal from the subassembly level and then the component level down here, parts required materials, that would be listed here by clicking on the component listing, or you can go back in and look at the parts report, which is another item that will show you the parts and how they break down from the top level on down. Thank you for taking this video.